नमस्ते बच्चों, हमेशा खुश रहो। Myself, JV and Dr. Monica Trivedi. I'm from Department of Science and Technology, Faculty of Education and Methodology, JOTI VIDYAPEETH Women's University, Jaipur. So, student, today I am taking a class of DTCS second semester Applied Chemistry, and the topic is ionization. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the ionization, ionization constant, and the factor which are affected the degree of ionization. So, as you all know, that the ionization is the process by which an atom or a molecule acquire the negative or a positive charge by gaining or losing electrons. Okay, this is a conjugation reaction, chemical reaction, in which the resulting species is electrically charged by an atom or molecules, which are called as ions. Okay, simply the ionization process in which the atom or a molecule which undergoes in a chemical reaction will give the negative and a positive charge ions, okay, by losing or gaining some electrons. And these kind of molecules known as ion, which have a negative charge and a positive charge. In this kind of reaction, there is a lose of some kind of electron after collision with subatomic particles, and the collision with other atom or molecule through the interaction with the light. So the ionization process occur by the collision with the subatomic particle, or by the collision with the other atoms, okay, by the interaction with the light. Okay, this will happen by the electrolytic bond cleavage, and we will get the two ions like positive charge and negative charge ion, or it can be done by the hydrolytic substitution reaction, okay, which results in the formation of the ion pair, which is one part is negatively charged and one part is positively charged. So by this reaction we will get the cations and anions, and the molecule is ionized. Okay, so the ionization process can occur through the radioactive decay by the internal conversion process, in which the excited nucleus converts the energy from one of the inner shell electron, and the energy will be ejected, and we will get the ions like a positively charged and a negatively charged ions. Okay. So we know that the ions are used in some kind of reaction. Okay, so the general use is the ionization energy, or the ionization process is generally used in the fluorescent lamp. Okay, or the other kind of lamp like electrical discharge lamp, in which the molecule reacts with the light, and we will see the heterolytic cleavage, and we will get the energy in form of the light. Okay, so it is also used in a radiation detector such and the ionization chambers. Okay, and the ionization process is widely used in a veterinary equipment in a fundamental science like mass spectroscopy, and in industrial use like radiation therapy. So these are some uses of ionization process. Okay, in ionization process there is some kind of mechanism, or kinetically performance is there. So if negatively charged ion produced when a free electron collides with an atom, okay, and is subsequently trapped inside the electrical potential barrier, the releasing any excess energy. This process known as the electron capture ionization. What is electron capture ionization? When negatively charged ion produced when a free electron collides with an atom, and subsequently it is trapped inside the electrical potential barrier. Okay, and this time it release some kind of energy, and this process is known as the electron capture ionization. Whereas positively charged ion when positively charged ion produced by the transforming of a sufficient amount of energy to a bond electron in a collision with charged particles. For example, electrons and ions are or a photon, okay, will react with the photon. If ions and electron react with the photon, it will give the threshold amount of the energy which is required to ionize that particular molecule. So this kind of energy which is required to produce a positively charged ion to interact with the ions or electrons, it is known as the ionization potential. Okay, and the study of such collision is a fundamental importance with regard with the few body system. Okay, so this is the ionization potential and ionization of a molecule. Okay. Now, the ionization energy of any atom is often used in a demonstration of a periodic behavior of atoms. Okay. We know that every element which is present in a periodic table has its ionization energy. Okay. So, if the molecule ionizes, it has a ionization energy. Okay. So the atomic with respect to their atomic number. Okay, and it is also summarized in a periodic table, as you know. So there is a value which is known as their ordering of electron in an atomic orbital without going into the detail of the wave function of the ionization process. So ionization energy is simply a wave a calculation of the electron present in the atomic orbital. Without knowing any kind of wave function, we can calculate the ionization energy of a molecule. Okay, like the helium has uh, 1200 ionization energy, whereas the helium is a high ionization energy like 2400. Lithium has a lower ionization energy like 600, and beryllium has 800 ionization energy. So by this, by the nuclear change, by the nuclear charge, you can calculate the ionization energy of any element. Okay, so uh, this is the ionization energy, and now we will discuss the ionization dissociation of ionization energy. Okay, so if a substance which is dissociated without producing an ion, okay, for example, if a molecule of a table salt, table sugar dissociate in the water, okay, and it's dissolved in a water, but exists as a intact nuclear entities. Okay. The another substance even which is dissociated of sodium chloride, which is a table salt, into the sodium and the chloride ion. Okay, sugar is dissolved in a water, but the sodium chloride is ionized in a water. Okay, why? Because the sodium chloride has a ions and has a element, and it is dissociated in a when it dissolved in a water. Okay, so when a salt is dissociated, it constant ion and which are simply surrounded by the water molecule, and their effects are visible. Like for example, the solution becomes electrolyte. So by the ionization process, the solution we will get are used as an electrolyte. However, if there is a no transfer or no displacement of electron occur, this is actually a chemical synthesis of salt involved in an ionization process, and this is also a chemical reaction. So simply ionization dissociation or the dissociation of any salt is become a electrolytic process, and it is a chemical process also. Now, as we know that the ionization in an ionization, if we take the ionization of, if we discuss about the ionization constant, okay, what is ionization constant? Acid has an ionization constant, and the base also has an ionization constant. As we know that the reaction is present in equilibrium, okay, and when the reaction present in a equilibrium, the weak acid and the water present in a equilibrium constant. So what is the acid ionization constant for the particular reaction? If Ha, which is a salt, dissolve in a water, it will give the H3O plus ions, and the uh, substance which is a in an aqueous solution, negatively charged substance. Okay, so as we get the uh, ions, the ionization constant depend upon the concentration of reactant and the concentration of product. Okay, the concentration of product by concentration of reactant. Okay, so there is the Ka, which is ionization constant of a acid, will depends upon the concentration of H3O plus and concentration of A negative ions by concentration of Ha salt. Okay, whereas the ionization of base, which is also denoted by the Kb, okay, it is also denoted by the Kb, and it is also present in equilibrium state. Like if B, here is any kind of base, react with the H2O water molecule, it will give the BHR positive ion and OH negative ion. So the ionization constant of a base, which is denoted by Kb, is equals to the concentration of product by concentration of reactant. Okay, so it will be depend upon the concentration of BH positive ion and OH negative ion over by concentration of base, which is react with the water. Okay, so it is the ionization constant, and you can easily find out by the putting the values of the ions present in a salt. So you will get the concentration ionization constant of acid and concentration ionization constant for the base. Now, what are the salts? Okay, the salts are the ionic compound containing a metal or a polyatomic ion, and these are the positive ion and a non-metallic or a non-polyatomic ion. Okay, except hydrogen, and they are the they have a positive charge ion and they have a negative charge ion. Okay, so salt has a also has a positive charge ion and a negative charge ion, and all the common salts are soluble and soluble salts and are completely dissociate into and solution. Whenever the salt dissolve in a water or in any kind of solution, it is completely dissociate. So salts are the compound which are completely dissociate in the solution, and it will give the ion, positively charged ion and negatively charged ion. So it is completely ionized in a ionized form. Okay. So if we have to calculate the ionization of uh, uh, ionization of the salt. Okay, so here you can just put the values of the product and by the reactant, and you will get the ionization constant for the salt also. Now, what is the acid-base neutralization reaction? As we know, if the what happened, the acid and the base. Okay, so, in the neutralization reaction, there is a chemical reaction between an acid and a hydroxide base. Okay, so it is a reaction between acid and a base, which is in which a salt and water are produced. Okay, so simply the acid and base reaction is when the acid and the base react with each other, and it will give a salt and a water. For example, if we react the HCl and NaOH, one is acid, one is a base. Okay, if we react HCl and NaOH, we will get NaCl plus some amount of water. And if we react H2SO4 acid and twice mole of KOH, we have K2SO4 salt and some amount of water. So these kind of reaction are known as a neutralization reaction, where acid and base react and give the salt. Okay. Now, in this kind of reaction, you will get some amount of water as well as the salt. Okay. How water forms? This is also a ionization reaction. How when hydronium ion, which is H3O plus, react with the hydroxide ion, which is OH negative ion, we will get the water, which is H2O. So by the reacting the H3O plus OH ion, we will get twice mole of H2O ion. Now, what is the self-ionization process? In a self-ionization process, what happens? The water molecule in pure water reacts with one another. Okay, like twice mole of H2O will react with each other, and it will give the H3O plus OH negative ion. Okay, so it is a reversible reaction where the H3O plus OH negative ion will also react, and we will get the twice mole of H2O. So this is the self-ionization process where the net effect is the formation of equal amounts of the hydronium and hydroxide ion. So we will get the equal amount of the reactant in the product in this kind of equilibrium reaction. Okay. If we see that the self-ionization process, okay, at the product constant of a water, the ion product constant for the water, if we calculate the ion product constant for the water, we will at the 25 degrees centigrade, the room temperature, we will get the Kw, which is ion product constant of a water, which is depend upon the product, which are H3O plus and OH negative ion. If the concentration of H3O plus is 1, and we will get the net constant for the water is 1.00 into 10 to the power 14. Okay, so no matter what is the solution contains, the product of H3O plus and OH negative must always equals to 1 into 10 raised to power minus 14. For the self-ionization of water, we will get the Kw is 1.00 into 10 raised to power 14. If we see the relationship between the H3O plus and OH negative ion, what happened? If the solution is neutral, the concentration of OH3 and OH is equal. Okay, and in a acidic solution, the concentration of H3O plus is high as compared to OH negative, and in a basic solution, the concentration of OH negative is high as compared to H3O plus. Okay, so this is the relationship between H3O plus and OH negative ion. What are the possibilities of this kind of situation? Okay. If the concentration of OH3 plus OH3 and OH3O plus is equals to OH negative ion, the solution is a neutral solution. And where the concentration of H3O plus is greater than OH negative ion, the solution becomes an acidic solution. Whereas the concentration of H3O plus is lesser than OH negative, solution called as a basic solution. So this is the self-ionization process, and on the behalf of the self-ionization process, you can identify the type of the solution. It is acidic or basic or a neutral. Okay, so now we come on a factor which affects the degree of ionization. Okay, so the degree of ionization is affected by the nature of electrolyte, nature of solvent, dilution, temperature, and the common ion effect. Okay, so first we will discuss about the nature of electrolyte. Okay? So the degree of ionization depend upon the nature of electrolyte. If strong electrolyte have a high degree of ionization, while the weak electrolyte has a low degree of ionization. Okay. Second is the nature of solvent. Okay. So the ionization power of a solvent depend upon the dielectric dielectric constant. Okay. If the greater the value of dielectric constant, the greater ionization power of a solution, and the greater will be the degree of ionization. So if we have the greater value of dielectric constant, we have a greater value for the ionization, degree of ionization also. Third one is a dilution. Okay, what happens when we dilute the solution? The degree of ionization increases with the increase in a dilution. Okay? If you dilute some kind of, if you dilute the solution, the degree of ionization also increases with the dilution. At the infinity of the dilution, even the weak electrolyte are almost completely ionized. Okay. Now, fourth one is a temperature. Okay, what happen when we rise or decrease the temperature of any kind of electrolyte? What happening for there? So the degree of ionization increases with increase in a temperature and decrease with the decrease in a temperature. Okay, so it is directly proportional to the temperature. Now, fifth one is a common ion effect. Okay, what is a common ion effect? If in a reaction, the reactant, the both reactant have a one common ion. So in a product, we see that the one ion has a high concentration. So this type of reaction has a common ion in that. So the concentration of common ion increases. Okay. So in this kind of reaction, the separation or the degree of ionization of a weak electrolyte by addition of strong electrolyte having which have a common ion. Okay, so due to the common ion effect, the degree of ionization of a weak electrolyte decreases. Okay, if we have a weak electrolyte and there is a common ion present in this kind of reaction, so the degree of ionization also decreases when the common ion present in that kind of reaction. So this is about the factors which affect the degree of ionization. Okay, so hope you will understand all the topic which I have discussed today. If you have any query, please let me know. I will resolve your all queries. Thank you very much.